Some days are pretty tough trying to be motivated. This is one of those days for me. It seems like decided to get some type of caffeine. In this case, McDonald's unsweetened iced tea. I like their stuff. It tastes good. It's cheap. This is $1, or actually this was less than $1 because I used their app and get a sandwich. I have a good deal of stuff in my queue that I can work on, which is always nice to fall back on. In this case, I'll probably try to do some of that tonight, but the day so far has not gone super well. What do you do to stay motivated? What do you do to make things you want happen with creative stuff? It could be anything, I guess, but more so the creative things, making videos, doing photography. In this case, today has been very weird weather-wise, just a crazy amount of snow for some reason. I wanted to go out, but I waited for it to calm down, and it hasn't really calmed down, so I just eventually went. So I'm thinking about going out into this park a little bit and walking around. Right now for this view, I'm using the GoPro with the max lens mod at 16 millimeters, which is the wide view instead of the super wide view, which is 14 millimeters. And I've got it placed to the side of the car. I can do a quick video, but you get the idea. It's a nice setup, little tripod. GoPro, I forgot to turn off the stabilization, so we'll see how that works, but it's simple, it's small. It helps me to manage the levels of effort that I have at the moment. So something small such as an action camera and something like this together fits in a pocket, fits in 2 pockets actually, and it allows me to at least do something. Maybe I'll edit this instead of editing one of my Q videos. I have done a video on this little tripod I got from Best Buy. It's not terrible. It's not the most amazing thing ever, but it works, which is the key. I didn't leave this in the car. As I complained about recently, I really wish they would just have 1/4-20 threads, at least combine it like 1/4-20 and special mount, GoPro mount. I've been thinking about content direction for the channel. Of course, I've made it very clear that I would like to make this my job monetarily. As it stands now, as much time as I put into it, it's a job. But I do enjoy it. There's the enjoyment side, which is there, of course, but there's the other side, which the practicality and the monetary side, which I think needs to be included. There's nothing wrong with thinking about that. You know, if you're going to be so honorable that you're going to atrophy yourself to death trying to be creative, enjoy that while making it perfectly honorable and not including money, that doesn't make sense to me. So I do include it, and I think about it. It's definitely a consideration, and things I can make that would be interesting to people. So I have been looking at the used lenses, used cameras, maybe renting stuff. The renting, there's one upside is that there's a few upsides. I can try something out that's relatively new, and I can make videos about it. So the amount of videos is relatively limited based on the time. I can record a lot of footage, and a lot of the time I get questions 1, 2, 3 months, whatever, after I make a video about a specific camera. And by then, which I'm talking about the camera craft videos where I do a hands-on, and by then, of course, I have no access to the camera for the most part. And they ask me specific things like, go do this, that. And, at that point, I can't really help you too much. So that's one consideration. With the used stuff, I've seen decent traction on the 30D videos and that Tamron 18-200 EF-S lens, which is good. I mean, it's not a lot, but it's just the multiple videos that I've made have kind of added up over time. I'm not taking into consideration all the time that I spend on making the videos, which is a lot. Recently, I was thinking about making a edit video of me doing a full edit, which it'll be a long video, but I might do that eventually. One thing I should probably do is work on my thumbnails again, go through old videos that are relatively low views and tweak them, just see if that improves things. Because I do think part of my Achilles heel at the moment is getting people to see a video. I look at the numbers sometimes, not a lot, but with click-through ratio, a lot of them are like 3% recently, which probably isn't great. But it depends on how much YouTube pushes your video. So there's a lot of data that isn't necessarily clear-cut to understand and figure out why it's working or why it's not working. And it's nice that all of that information is there. You just have to take it with a grain of salt. Because if a CTR is really amazing, that might mean that YouTube's only pushing it to a specific audience. Or if it's pretty low, but you look at your amount of reach that it's getting, and that maybe that's super high. Just look at the data and try to think about, okay, this might be true, but what is it, because of this or because of that? I don't know. I do think I need to work more on titles, more on thumbnails. Going back on old videos is kind of a win-win, because at that point you've made it and you hope people like it or are interested in it, and if they can't even see it, know it exists, then trying to improve on that is always a good thing. All right, I think I'm gonna take a walk. I feel like the tea is already helping me, but if you want to put in the comments, do you like coffee or tea? Which one is your preferred caffeine insertion? Caffeine ingestment? Matti made a video yesterday or today. He's talking about what he makes on YouTube. Pretty good numbers. Just AdSense, of course. But looking at that, I think he gets around 2 million views per month. That would be the ideal. But even a million, I think I'm around 80,000 for the month, approximately 30 days, not 28. It would be nice to hit those numbers for sure. A million. I'm using the media mod, which isn't great for any type of rain. We'll find out, I guess. See if the lens gets any stuff on it. Any camera you got on hand. It's actually colder than I thought it'd be. I was thinking about picking up a used Nikon 1 weatherproof version, WR1, something like that. But they're still relatively expensive. So, and adding another weird camera to my repertoire isn't necessarily the best thing ever. So there's no hope for that system, of course. It's long dead. This pretty nice, but the quality is not so nice. But it is waterproof, which is the main thing. Fingerless gloves wasn't the smartest choice for the moment. My hand is already feeling it quite a bit. So we'll make this short. But having a little built-in range with something like this is always convenient. The main thing I wanted to do was get some exercise. But in this weather, not the easiest thing to accomplish. Could make some art with my shoe footsteps. The camera can't focus on something that simple. That's the problem with contrast-based AF. It's just like low quality contrast-based AF. Wow. Damn. I did make a video recently about how the action cameras have helped out with a lot of my videos, and they definitely have. I like the convenience factor. There are definitely negatives, but as long as you take them into account and you're happy with the result you get, then might as well. And they're not super expensive in comparison to like a serious interchangeable lens camera, at least. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Quick talk. Subscribe for every Banzai. Thanks. Enjoyed the video. Please consider subscribing, liking, sharing, and the applause feature. All that helps out. See ya.